दोस्तों, आपकी अनुमति से द्विभाषी होकर के बात करूंगा, क्योंकि हमारे कुछ ऐसे मेहमान हैं. If I speak only in Hindi, some of our guests here today will miss the gist of what is being said. With your permission, I will try to be bilingual. A very warm welcome to all our guests from different parts of the world who are all here on this International Day. Friends, NITM आकर सबसे पहले मैं राजेंद्र का आभारी हूँ, जिसने मुझे यहाँ बुलाया और आप तक अपने बात को रखने का एक अवसर मिला. The reason why it is important and the way the International Day is being celebrated, how do you get out of inequality to a more inclusive society? How it is relevant for even disaster. आप में से कई लोग in our own ways we managed to get in command of certain challenges which natural disasters throw up till we realize that new challenges emerge. अभी हाल के दिनों में सिक्किम में, हिमाचल में कुछ नई तरह की समस्याएं आती हैं. हमें लगा था कि बहुत सारी समस्याओं पे धीरे धीरे हम कामयाब हुए हैं, और विशेष करके एक समावेशी समाज संभवतः ऐसे प्राकृतिक आपदाओं से सामना करने में सबसे सफल होता है. चंद उदाहरण से अपनी बात को आपके सामने रखना चाहूँगा. Our country has tried many things to ensure a minimum bare necessity for households. We still have a long way to go. We still have many things to do. It is still a case of the glass being half full. But it's important to mention the relationship between what the Honorable Prime Minister calls the ease of living. Many of you would have heard about the thrust on pro-poor public welfare. Now, what consequences it has even for disaster? Just as example, I belong to Bihar. मैं बिहार का रहने वाला हूँ, और जब मैथिली जी उत्तर बिहार की बाढ़ की चर्चा कर रही थी, बात सही है, सभी लोग उसी परिवेश में रहना सीख गए. इस माह में बाढ़ आएगा, अब बाढ़ आएगी तो क्षति होगी तो आगे क्या करना. मैं आपके समक्ष ये बताना चाहूँगा, जैसे एक छोटा सा उदाहरण, सबके लिए आवास, हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल. We always think that housing for all is for a household, a family, to protect it from natural disasters, to also make its life better, the quality of life better, and so on. Friends, there was a time when the loss of human lives used to be very high in areas which had cyclone and floods. Today, the loss of lives has come down in our country within our own lifetimes. We are aware about the work in Orissa, which is highly disaster prone, cyclone prone, how by creating community spaces, by creating a community organization and institution in every village, the women's collectives, the Mission Shakti, what difference it makes. We have seen in our own home state of Bihar, the Jivika Didis, the self-help group of women working for livelihood who are there in every village of Bihar today. It is they who are the symbols of solidarity of people to bring about transformation on scale which protects households even from disasters. आप में से सभी अवगत हैं, कच्छ में जो हुआ था, जो बर्बादी हुई थी अर्थक्वेक के बाद, और उसके बाद जो पुनर्निर्माण हुआ है. I have had the chance to visit before, during and after, and I can only say it presented before the world a model of how to reconstruct post a natural disaster of that size and scale. Friends, I had the privilege to work very closely with Dr. P.K. Mishra, the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, who is himself one of the leading authorities on disaster. And the clear message is, जब तक समता और समावेशी विकास हमारा आधार नहीं बनता है, तब तक ये चुनौतियां आती रहेंगी। छोटा सा उदाहरण हेल्थ सेक्टर का, काला आजार। काला आजार एक ऐसी बीमारी थी जिसमें सैंड फ्लाई की भूमिका होती है, और जो लोग कच्चे घर में रहते हैं उनमें काला आजार ज्यादा होता है। बिहार के जिलों में, पश्चिम बंगाल में, उड़ीसा के कुछ भागों में, जहां पर गरीबी ज्यादा थी, जहां पर ज्यादा लोग झोपड़ी झोपड़ियों में रहते थे, वैसे ही जगहों पे काला आजार का भी प्रकोप था। दवा की तो भूमिका थी, लेकिन दवा के साथ साथ अगर लिविंग एनवायरनमेंट बदल जाता है, उससे भी काला आजार में कमी आती है। When people have pakka all-weather houses of their own, constructed as per their requirements, it makes a difference to many of these diseases which otherwise were responsible for loss of lives. We have all in the entire world faced, because any disaster, who gets most affected? After the COVID and the kind of consequences it has had, there is no confusion in anyone's mind anywhere in the world that the worst sufferers are the poorest quantiles. जो गरीब हैं, सबसे ज्यादा समस्याएं उनके लिए ही होती है। पूरी दुनिया में रिकवरी भी होता है तो के शेप्ड होता है। जो संपन्न था शायद और संपन्न होने की संभावना उसकी है, लेकिन जो गरीब था उसकी सेविंग्स खत्म हो जाती है। अगर डिसलोकेशन होता है, बाजारें बंद हो जाती हैं, दुकानें बंद हैं, आजीविका का आधार समाप्त हो जाता है, उसका सर्वाधिक प्रभाव ऐसे लोगों पे पड़ता है जो हाशिए पे हैं या जिनकी स्थिति बड़ी फ्रजाइल है। The good news about India has been that between 2005-06 and 2019 to 21, as per the United Nations Development Programme report, 415 million persons in India have been brought out of multi-dimensional poverty. When we talk about multi-dimensional poverty, what do we talk about? We talk about not only incomes, we talk about not only educational participation, not only about life expectancy, but also about the status of living, seen in terms of, do households get to cook on a safe energy? Do households get to live in a pakka house? Do households have access to electricity and so on? हिंदुस्तान में प्रो पुअर पब्लिक वेलफेयर के माध्यम से ऐसी कई सुविधाएं गरीब तक पहुंचाने का प्रयास हुआ है। हमारी चुनौतियां बढ़ी हैं कोविड के बाद, विशेष करके इनकम और एम्प्लॉयमेंट को लेकर के। नियोजन और इनकम, अगर नियोजन और इनकम भी निरंतर बढ़ता जाए, तब संभवतः जो ड्रीम है, और निश्चित रूप से इट इज ओनली एन इंक्लूसिव सोसाइटी which is good not only for economic growth but even for disaster resilience. Any part of the country today आप ये पाएंगे, और इसमें डिजास्टर रेजिलियंस को बिल्ड करने में एजुकेशन की भी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका होती है। टुडे इफ यू कंपेयर स्टेट्स लाइक केरला, पंजाब एंड हरियाणा, तीन राज्यों की अगर आप तुलना करें, आबादी लगभग बराबर है, पॉपुलेशन इज अबाउट 30 मिलियन इन ईच ऑफ देम। If you look at per capita incomes, there is variation, but paradoxically, Kerala has only 0.55% persons in multi-dimensional poverty, whereas in Haryana, whose per capita income is much higher, but the levels of multi-dimensional poverty are higher in Haryana. Punjab is in the middle. Why? Because a comparison of 5 countries. A very simple comparison where on the x-axis you are trying to track when universal primary education for girls, as basic as universal primary education for girls, लड़कियों के प्राथमिक शिक्षा का सर्वव्यापीकरण 1820 से 21वीं सदी तक आप ट्रैक करेंगे। 5 देशों को आप ले, जापान, साउथ कोरिया, चाइना, इंडिया और बांग्लादेश। आप पाएंगे if you just track for 5 countries, on the x-axis when those countries actually managed to reach universal primary education, in the case of Japan, at the turn of the 20th century, not 21st century, turn of the 20th century, Japan had achieved universal primary education for girls. In the case of South Korea, China and India, they were all around the same level at the 1930s. South Korea in the 30s decided that it must emphasize universal primary education for girls. Mid-60s, they reached there. China managed to do it in the mid-80s. We have done it at the turn of the 21st century. And look at the differences in economic development. Clearly, economic growth and social development are not separate. They are related to each other. Sustainable economic progress requires girls' education, requires women-led development. And even on this day of international disasters and resilient waves, one of the means of resilience is a more equal society. समाज में भागीदारी हो, कम्युनिटी कनेक्ट हो, लोगों के साथ जुड़ाव हो। The good news about India, as I stand before you, one of the programs I have had the opportunity to be associated very closely for the last 10 years is the Women's Self-Help Group Movement, the Livelihood Mission. Whereas we had till 2013 about 2.5 crore, 25 million women in the movement, today we have 90 million in rural India, all over the country. We often say that southern Indian states reduced poverty faster than the rest of the country. Rajendra is from one of the cadres, he'll bear me out. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka. 6 things have happened in these states which explain why poverty is much lower in those states. The most important one was girls, adolescent girls in high school, higher secondary and higher education. That really makes the difference. These were the states where adolescent girls in high schools and higher education started much earlier. When adolescent girls join high schools and in higher education, fertility rates come down. When fertility rates come down and adolescent girls regularly cycle to schools or take public transport, it creates a new identity for young adults, women, an identity that she is nobody's sister, nobody's wife or nobody's daughter, but a woman unto herself. And that's how women's self-help groups get constituted. When you are educated up to class 10th or class 12, obviously, given the fact that at home if anybody falls ill, it is the woman of the house who takes leave to look after children, unfortunately. Therefore, if you don't have better health services, especially maternal and child care services, such transformations will not happen. So these states focused on primary health, maternal and child health in particular in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, in Karnataka, Andhra and Telangana. Fifth, if you are educated up to high school, you have opportunities for vocationalization. You can join an ITI, you can do a nursing course and so on, which happened in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka on a much larger scale. And sixth, the Reserve Bank of India provided for a collateral-free loan of rupees 10 lakhs 30 years ago. Dr. C. Rangarajan was the governor of RBI at that time. As strategy, when the Prime Minister talks about a women-led development, this is what we are trying to do. Some of you would have heard the Prime Minister's announcement on Independence Day. that we want to have 20 million women who earn more than 100,000 rupees a year. Lakpati Bahne. There are quite a few of them who've come out of poverty and are moving in that direction. So clearly, unless and until we go for a women-led development, unless and until we go for a more equal society, equal opportunities of education and human development, we will not be able to reach where we wish to. The challenges of disaster are best fought through community action. The challenges of disaster are best fought through good education. The challenges of disaster are best fought through a women-led approach to community resilience and abilities to cope with the challenges that we face. दोस्तों, आज के दिन मैं पुनः very happy to find young school students here, school and college students who are here. विशेष रूप से आपको मैं संबोधित करना चाहूँगा। हम लोगों ने तो ऐसा वही समय देखा जब बहुत सी चीजें चाह करके भी हमें नहीं मिल पाता था। बिजली कभी आती थी, कभी जाती थी, ज्यादातर नहीं होती। आप एक ऐसे युग में आए हैं जब टेक्नोलॉजी भी है, कंप्यूटर भी है, बिजली भी है, सुविधाएं भी है, लेकिन इसको सतत बनाने के लिए आपको अपने आप को रिस्क से बचना पड़ेगा। कोविड ने आपको एक नई प्रकार के रिस्क की जानकारी दी, पब्लिक हेल्थ, क्यों लोग स्वास्थ्य इतना महत्वपूर्ण है। आप में से कई 10वीं 12वीं पास कर गए होंगे घर बैठे बैठे, क्योंकि वो दुर्भाग्य था उस समय का। So disasters can actually affect the nations on such a large scale that it is unimaginable. So the onus on the youth of today, how do you take a development pathway, a development route to progress which ensures sustainable progress? The impact of climate change, it seemed very distant till recently. चर्चा होती थी कि ग्लेशियर मेल्ट कर रहा है तो लगता था बहुत दूर है, लेकिन अब तो घर तक पहुंच गया। 2 घंटे में जो 2 महीने में बारिश होती है वो हो जाता है। तो समस्याएं तो नई तरह की आ रही हैं। So in order to cope with new kinds of challenges, which as we have seen in Sikkim, in Himachal and other places, we will need, and especially our younger generation, will need to take disasters more seriously, understand what is it that causes it, and prepare resilient strategies in line with what needs to be done. Thank you very much for your patience.